By daylight, Inunaki Tunnel looked abandoned, silent, and almost harmless. At night, local drivers claimed the tunnel swallowed voices, headlights, and directions. 4 university friends decided to film the place during a summer storm. Mika laughed the loudest, even while gripping her phone too tightly. The warning sign near the road had been scratched beyond recognition. No streetlights remained, only wet trees leaning toward the narrow tunnel mouth. Their car stopped outside, and the rain grew louder on the roof. One friend suggested leaving, but Mika insisted they had come too far. They entered the tunnel, filming walls covered in damp stains and moss. Their footsteps echoed strangely, as if another group walked behind them. Mika heard a girl whisper her name, though nobody stood nearby. The camera lights flickered, and the air became suddenly colder inside. Halfway through, they found old offerings, wilted flowers, coins, and broken toys. One toy phone began ringing softly, though it had no batteries. Mika answered as a joke and heard only desperate breathing. When she turned around, the others were farther away than before. She ran toward them, but the tunnel seemed much longer now. A figure appeared at the far end, blocking the pale exit light. It looked like a woman still soaked and facing the wall. Mika called to her friends, but their voices sounded muffled and distant. The flashlight beam caught dozens of handprints pressed into the concrete. Some prints were tiny, others looked clawed, all of them wet. Then the car horn screamed outside, long broken and terrified. Mika sprinted out, but emerged alone into the rain and mud. The car remained parked, doors open, cameras dropped, friends nowhere visible. Police searched the forest until dawn, finding no trace of anyone. 3 days later, Mika walked home barefoot, pale, and completely silent. Her mother embraced her, but Mika did not return the gesture. Doctors found no injuries, yet Mika never answered a single question. Each night at 2:17, she sat facing the dark backyard fence. She seemed to listen, as if someone whispered from beyond it. Investigators checked road cameras, expecting proof of the missing friend's arrival. Instead, every recording showed Mika driving alone through the mountain road. Photos from the trip changed too, leaving only empty space beside her. Social media posts remained, but every tagged friend had disappeared. School records still existed, though faces were blurred on printed pages. One officer visited the tunnel again and heard a ringing phone inside. He followed the sound but returned shaken and refused to speak. Mika began drawing the tunnel endlessly, always adding one extra doorway. That doorway never appeared in any real map of the structure. Her mother found muddy footprints leading from Mika's room to the yard. They were smaller than Mika's feet and ended at the fence. On the wood, someone had scratched 4 short names repeatedly. By morning, 3 names were gone, leaving only Mika's untouched. When questioned about the scratches, Mika only blinked and looked away. At 2:17 again, the family phone rang, though no number appeared. Mika answered immediately as if she had been waiting all day. From the receiver came tunnel echoes, dripping water and familiar laughter. For the first time, Mika smiled, but not like herself. Her mother grabbed the phone, yet heard nothing except wind. The next day, Mika began speaking one sentence over and over. She said they were still inside and the tunnel wanted room. Police reopened the case and returned underground with stronger lights. Near the deepest section, they found 4 old-school bracelets together. 3 belonged to the missing friends, 1 still carried Mika's name. Yet Mika was at home, sitting motionless before the backyard fence. The tunnel report listed the bracelets as impossible evidence, then vanished. That evening, Mika's reflection remained smiling after she stopped smiling. Her mother saw it first in the kitchen window at dusk. The reflected Mika lifted one hand, though the real girl stayed still. Rain began again and muddy water spread beneath the back door. When her father checked outside, he found no footprints this time. Instead, he heard 4 sets of footsteps circling the house slowly. Every room light flickered when Mika looked toward the hallway mirror. In the mirror, 3 soaked figures stood behind her shoulder. They had no eyes, only dark hollows and dripping hair. Mika whispered their names, then pressed her forehead to the glass. Her parents tried pulling her away, but the mirror felt warm. A school counselor visited and recognized one figure from an old yearbook. That student had disappeared near Inunaki Tunnel 20 years earlier. The counselor then noticed another figure wearing the same bracelet style. Mika finally wrote a note, because speaking seemed suddenly difficult. It read, "They let me leave because I brought the door home." The family searched her room and found damp mud beneath the bed. Hidden, there was a cracked tunnel tile, cold and slick. At 2:17 that night, the house phones rang together upstairs. Mika stood before the hallway mirror and touched the glass again. This time, the surface rippled, revealing the tunnel behind her reflection. 3 missing friends waited inside, smiling the same borrowed smile. Mika stepped forward, while her reflection stepped backward into darkness.
Setagaya, the killer who stayed. Tokyo, December 30th, 2000. The new year was only 1 day away. In Setagaya, the Miyazawa family returned from an ordinary shopping trip. Mikio worked in corporate design and loved animation and theatrical performance. Yasuko operated a small private learning school inside their home. Eight-year-old Nina enjoyed piano music and attending ballet lessons. 6-year-old Rei attended a public kindergarten in the Setagaya neighborhood. That evening, the family shared dinner and watched television together. Outside, Soshigaya Park becomes silent and almost completely deserted. Because of the park expansion, only 4 houses remained in the area. At around 11 that night, a figure appeared beyond the darkened park. No camera recorded his face or the exact path that he followed. Investigators believe the upstairs bathroom window may have been his entrance. Nobody knows where he came from or how long he watched the house. Inside, the lights remained on and the television continued playing. The quiet inside the family home was suddenly broken. What happened next could only be reconstructed from the evidence left behind. All 4 family members were killed, inside the place they called home. Most disturbingly, the intruder did not immediately flee from the house. He remained inside, allowing the minutes and hours to pass around him. Those unexplained hours transformed the crime into an especially haunting mystery. On December 31st, relatives were unable to contact the family. The doorbell was pressed repeatedly, but nobody responded from inside. The door opened into a house that was unnaturally and completely silent. Within minutes, police officers and emergency personnel were called to the residence. The area was sealed while the rest of Tokyo prepared for celebration. Inside, investigators realized this was not an ordinary home invasion. Several drawers had been opened and papers had been searched and scattered. Yet, several valuable possessions remained untouched inside the residence. If robbery was the motive, why had so many valuables been left behind? And why had the offender left behind an extraordinary record of himself? Evidence indicated that the intruder used several objects inside the family home. He opened the refrigerator and consumed food belonging to the family. He also used Mikio's computer after the family had been attacked. His behavior suggested little fear of being discovered immediately. The intruder appears to have treated injuries sustained on his own hands. Blood not belonging to the victims allowed police to identify his blood type. The offender's fingerprints and genetic material were also recovered from the scene. Police possessed biological clues, yet still had no name to attach to them. No available database match led investigators to an identifiable suspect. A man who left DNA, fingerprints and clothing still vanished without a trace. At the scene, police found a black AirTag jacket left behind. A grey knitted crusher hat with black trim also belonged to the intruder. He left a multicolored checked scarf whose sales origin remains uncertain. The bag's belt length suggested that the offender had a relatively slim waist. The bag's belt length suggested that the offender had a relatively slim waist. Schlesinger shoes left footprints corresponding to approximately 27.5 centimeters. That shoe model was manufactured in South Korea and was uncommon in Japan. 2 black handkerchiefs were found, folded and altered in unusual ways. Police believe one handkerchief may have been used to conceal his face. Each abandoned object seemed to bring police closer, but never close enough. The most distinctive clue was a light gray and pale purple raglan shirt. Only 130 shirts of that type were sold throughout Japan. Only 10 were sold through 4 stores located within the Tokyo area. Police identified one owner, while the remaining 9 shirts stayed unaccounted for. Receipts and retail records from the year 2000 were far from complete. A customer could have paid in cash without leaving any identifying name. The shirt was exceptionally rare, yet its owner could not be identified. Police continue asking anyone connected to the shirt to provide information. Owning a similar shirt does not make someone a suspect in the case. Finding the remaining 9 could narrow the path leading toward the offender. Based on his clothing, police believe the offender was relatively young. His estimated height at the time was approximately 170 centimeters. The hip bag measurement suggested that he had a relatively slender build. Other evidence led investigators to believe that he was probably right-handed. The offender's blood recovered at the scene was identified as type A. He likely suffered injuries to his hands during the night of the crime. Police searched for people treated for unusual injuries after that night. Those injuries have long healed, and his physical appearance may have changed. Today, DNA and fingerprints remain the clues that cannot simply disappear. Police built a physical profile, but the most important detail remained missing: identity. The investigation became one of the largest criminal inquiries in modern Japan. Thousands of public tips were examined across years of continuous investigation. Former residents near the park were questioned about that winter night. Police searched for anyone who moved suddenly or disappeared after the crime. Clothing. Stores and distributors were examined across multiple Japanese prefectures. The uncommon shoes expanded inquiries toward people with connections to South Korea. An object's origin cannot establish the nationality of the person who used it. Theories involving foreigners, locals, or acquaintances remain unproven speculation. Without a clear motive, investigators could not effectively narrow the suspect pool. The more evidence accumulated, the central question became increasingly difficult to answer. Did he know the family or choose the house because it was isolated? Did he enter through the window or was he allowed through a door? Why did he carry personal items only to abandon them at the scene? Was he panic careless or deliberately creating misleading evidence? Why use the computer when every extra minute increased the chance of capture? Did he know nobody would arrive, or did he simply not care? His departure time and escape direction have never been conclusively established. He may have walked, boarded a train, or entered a waiting vehicle. There is no confession, direct eyewitness, or confirmed explanation for the motive. The case contains thousands of small answers, but lacks the one that matters. Many original investigators have retired, but the case has never been closed. DNA, fingerprints, and physical evidence remain preserved for future forensic technology. Every forensic advance may create another opportunity to revisit the evidence. Tokyo Police continued publicly requesting information from anyone who remembers. A reward of up to 20 million yen remains available for valuable information. Someone who remembers the shirt, shoes, or a stranger may hold the final clue. That witness may not realize how important their forgotten memory could be. For the relatives, this is not a mystery, but decades spent waiting for justice. The killer left Setagaya, but his physical traces remain in police custody. Until a name emerges, that house still holds the final night of 2000.